Hi friends, I'm really glad that you're here today with me again. So I pulled out my mat and I gathered my friends, Nettie, Teddy, and our puppy, and I thought we could do a little bit of spring yoga today. Maybe some of you celebrated Easter on the weekend, and so my thought is really about bunnies and springtime, and a lot of times at Baba Tree we find some bunnies in our backyard. And this morning I saw a bunny in our backyard that always makes me think of spring and warmer days coming, so I thought we could do a little bit of bunny yoga today. How would that be? Before we do that though, let's get ourselves ready to do a little bit of mindful movement and some yoga. Will you join me and will you rub your hands together? Will you rub them really, really fast? Make some energy with your hands. Mine's getting warmer. Now let's take this energy and we're going to place it on our heart. And let's take a deep breath in with our nose. Let it all the way out with your mouth. We promise that you'll take care of your heart today while we're practicing mindful movement, doing some yoga poses together. I want to make sure that we're always helping our heart and our body to be healthy and happy. And one of the ways we do that is by saying really kind things to ourselves. So saying things like, I can do this. I'm going to try my best and I'm going to practice, because friends, yoga is a practice. And even when Miss Cheryl comes onto her yoga mat, every single time I'm practicing. We're going to do some poses today. We're going to do our forward fold pose. We'll practice it together. We're going to do downward dog today. We'll practice our tree pose a little bit. And then we're going to practice warrior pose. And then at the end, we'll practice our resting pose. And all these poses are in a story that I'd like to read to you. And the story is called Yoga Bunny. I was thinking this morning when I saw that little brown rabbit in my backyard that I would call him our Baba Tree Yoga Bunny. And all of these poses that we're going to practice are in our story. So we'll practice it together, then I'll read you the story, and while I'm reading the story, I thought you could do the poses. Would that be fun? Beautiful. Before we do that though, I thought maybe we could practice one of our breathing techniques. And our breathing techniques, we know, can really help to feel calm and to settle our mind and to get ourselves ready to do something that might be challenging, or to get ourselves ready to be a little more calm. And so the breathing practice that I thought we could practice today is our bunny breath. That one's always kind of fun. You can do bunny breath sitting down right on the floor. You can do bunny breath up on your knees, or you can do bunny breath standing up. But just like our Baba Tree bunny that was in our backyard, I think he was sniffing around in our Baba Tree garden to see if we planted any seeds or any lettuce yet, but he didn't find anything. Sometimes babies are getting ready to have baby bunnies this time of year as well. And you know, we've seen before in our Baba Tree backyard that we've had little baby bunnies there. So I'm going to hope so. Friends, to practice our bunny breath, maybe we could bring our hands in front. We could pretend that they're little bunny paws. And we're going to take some sniffs, just like you were a bunny out in the yard, sniffing to find some food or sniffing in the grass. We're going to do 3 little breaths like this. And then we're going to breathe it out really slowly like this. Now try it with me again. Let's try it. Should we try that one more time? Let's do it together again. 3 little breaths and 1 long exhale. Here we go. Could you smell anything? Did you find anything that you'd be interested in finding? Are you pretending that you're a bunny alongside of me? All right. Well, let's get ready to practice some of our poses now. So we're going to start with our forward fold. Now that we're standing, friends, let's try our forward fold together. Let's breathe in, and then we're going to forward fold all the way down and see if we can come down and tickle our toes. Here's our forward fold. Slowly, we're going to roll our back and come all the way up. You might want to raise your arms all the way up, taking a breath in, and then breathe out. Let's do another forward fold all the way over. You got it. Breathe out as you come down. I want you to think about, where do you feel a stretch? When you're in forward fold, friends, some of us, our hands might be here, some here, some of us might be able to reach down to our toes, but all of those forward folds are perfect just the way they are. I want you to see in your forward fold, can you try it again with me and see where you feel a stretch in your body? Let's try it. Oh, I feel it down the back of my legs. Does anyone feel it down the back of their legs? Let's breathe in and come up again. Bring those hands together and breathe out and bring them all the way down. Next, we're going to try our downward dog. Can you show me? I bet you can do downward dog. Here we go. We're going to come forward and we're going to come into our downward dog, kind of like making an upside down V. Is everyone trying your downward dog? Beautiful. Now I'm going to look down at the mat in between my hands. If I want to walk out my dog, I can bend one knee at a time and push my heel into the mat. Oh, that stretch feels really, really good. Let's try again, boys and girls. Take a big breath in and then breathe it out. Where do you feel a stretch in your downward dog? Can you feel that in the back of your legs again? We're really getting a good stretch in those great big muscles that are called our hamstrings. Next, let's try our tree pose together. So we're going to stand up in our tree pose and we're going to turn one foot out to the side and just rest your heel on your ankle. Now this might be where your tree pose is today, with a really strong trunk and those roots reaching from the bottom of your foot into that imaginary ground. We're going to maybe try to lift up our foot. We might want to hold on to something to try that, like this. You got it. I wonder if the bunny might enjoy coming to rest in the shade of your beautiful tree. Let's bring that foot down, bring our hands together. We'll breathe out as we bring our hands all the way down. Take another big breath in, friends. Let it all the way out. Don't forget to keep breathing in each of your poses. We're going to try our tree pose on the other side. Remember, we always do our poses on both sides of our body. Here we go. We're lifting our foot up. You got it. There we go. Tree pose. Beautiful. Hands come back down. Let's shake it out a little bit. You got it. We're going to try our warrior pose next, friends. When I come into warrior pose, I like to move one foot back and my foot is on an angle, and then I'm going to bend my front foot. There we go. I'm going to face forward though. Can you make sure both your hips in our warrior one are facing forward in front of you? Let's bring those arms up and find a really beautiful, strong warrior pose. Don't hold your breath. Let's take a breath in and breathe out. Can you look down and make sure that front knee is bent? You got it? Here we go. Warrior again. Beautiful. Now I'm going to switch, and I'm going to switch to the other side, and I'm going to find my warrior one on the other side. Remember, my hips are facing forward in our warrior one. Arms come up. You got it. Strong warriors. Take a breath here. Let it all the way out and shake it out a little bit. Now in our resting pose, friends, we're going to lay down on our back. Try that with me now. So lay all the way down on your back. I'm going to just watch you. And when you lay on your back, friends, you're going to bring your hands by your side. I like to put the inside of my hands, the palms facing up to the sky. Can you try that for me? And I'm going to watch you. That's your resting pose we're practicing. Take a big breath in. Let it all the way out. You got it, friends. All right, shall we get started? Before we do our story, friends, do you want to practice those poses one more time? So you can do something kind of fun at home as well. Sometimes at our Bravatry studio, we might use our little eggs. Does anyone have any of these eggs left over from Easter? The little plastic eggs. I like to have a little surprise, and I like to put the pose inside of the egg. All right, so I'm going to pull out each of these eggs. You can do this too. Maybe you could have your mom or your dad or big brother or sister write down on a little piece of paper some of your favorite yoga poses. And if you put them into the little egg, then you can take turns reaching in and finding and then practicing your poses. The first one I pulled out was our resting pose. Do you remember what your resting pose looked like? We just practiced it. So we're going to lay flat. I'm going to do it with Medi Teddy. So Medi's going to lay flat on his back. You can practice now too. Bring your hands down beside your body. Now this is a very, very still pose. Resting pose is a chance to give your body a chance to be very still. So Medi Teddy is laying on his back. His palms are facing up towards the sky, and he's going to work hard to stay very relaxed. Do you want to try that? And let's take a big breath in our resting pose. I'm watching. Are you all finding your resting poses? Let's take a breath in. Slowly let it all the way out. Friends, notice how peaceful it feels in your resting pose. We're going to finish up our story today in a resting pose, but shall we find another pose to find in our basket? Let's see, I found an egg. What color is this egg? I have a blue egg next. Let's see, and it's the warrior pose. I wonder if Medi could help us with the warrior pose. Do you think? Can you show how to do your warrior pose? So remember that front leg is going to be bent. You got it. And then our arms come all the way up. There we go. Medi's facing forward. There we go. We try our warrior pose. Is everyone practicing warrior pose with Medi Teddy? There you go. I bet you can do it. I'm watching. Let me see your warrior poses. Beautiful. Now don't forget to come and try warrior pose on the other side. That means that you need to bend the other leg and try it. I'm going to get Medi all set up. So he's facing forward right by his bent knee. There we go. There we go. Can you try your warrior pose on the other side? Beautiful work, everyone. All right, let's see. I wonder if Medi wants to get another. Let me see. What color of egg did I pick this time? Got it? Yellow. Let's see. Are you ready? Let's see what's inside. I have, oh, it says forward fold. Can everyone practice their forward fold? We'll get all these poses all ready for our story. So forward fold. All right, Medi, here we go. We're going to bend all the way forward and see if you can come down and reach close to your toes. There you go. There's our forward fold. All right, friends, are you trying forward fold with us? You got it. Do you feel that stretch in your hamstrings in the back of your leg? Does anyone else feel that stretch somewhere different, like maybe in your back? All right, we have two more. All right, ready, Medi? We have two more. Oh, what color do I have this time? You see? I have orange. Let's try orange. Orange says tree pose. You want to practice your tree pose with me? All right, here we go. So in our tree pose, we start standing up beautifully tall. I usually like to start a tree pose in mountain pose. So I make sure that my feet are connected with the mat. Can you try that with me? And then we're going to turn one leg in and hold it up. And then when you feel ready and your body is really, really strong and you're using all those muscles in your tummy to hold you up, you can find your tree pose. You got it? Beautiful. Now, what was I going to say about tree pose? Just like warrior, what do we have to do? You have to try it on the other side as well. You get to decide where you're going to put your leg, is your other foot. Is it going to be just resting on your ankle or on your side of your leg, up high or low? You got it. Take a big breath in your beautiful tree pose, friends. Let it all the way out. You got it. There we go. We have one more. What do you think this one's going to be? All the poses we practiced. What color is my egg this time, friends? I have a blue egg. All right, Medi, what are we going to do next? Oh, downward facing dog. I know you guys are really, really, really good at this one. So we're going to bend forward. So we're going to come all the way down. Your hands are on the mat. I think that Medi likes this one too. And we're going to find our downward facing dog. Can everyone try their downward facing dog with me? That's it. You got it. Beautiful. Are you walking out your dog by bending your knee one at a time? Some of you might even want to try three-legged dog. Can you lift that leg all the way up to the sky? Nice work. Don't forget to breathe. Put it down. Should we try it on the other side as well? Here we go. All right, have you got it? Oh, wonderful. All right, my friends, we'll set Maddie back up on his chair because he'd like to listen to the story as well. Remember that the story that I have to read, friends, is Yoga Bunny. And Yoga Bunny is written by Brian Russo. And it's published by Harper Children's Books. And I'm going to read it to you today with permission from Harper's Children's Books. Friends, when I read our story, will you follow along? And every time I say a yoga pose, will you try the yoga pose as I read it? All right, Yoga Bunny. One morning, Bunny crawled out of his hole, rubbed his eyes, and he let out a big yawn. "This is a perfect morning to do yoga," he said. Bunny dropped his head and arms down towards his feet, coming into a forward fold. Can you all do a forward fold with Bunny? Beautiful, good work. Just then, Lizard came walking by. "Good morning, Lizard," said Bunny. "Would you like to do yoga with me?" "I hate everything about mornings. I wish I could go back to bed," Lizard replied angrily. And with that, Lizard stomped away. Bunny was disappointed, but he took a deep breath, placed his hands on the ground, stepped backward, and lifted his hips high into the air, coming into downward dog. Everyone try that. Are you ready? Join Bunny and do some downward dog with him. I'm watching. Nice work, everyone. His friend Fox came hurrying by. Zoom, zoom, zoom. He was moving so fast, he startled Bunny. "Out of my way, Bunny," he said. "I'm in a very big rush." "Maybe you could take a minute and do this yoga pose with me," Bunny suggested. "It might help you to slow down." No thanks," Fox replied. "I'd rather be in a big rush than do something so silly." And he hurried by. Bunny felt a little sad, but he took a deep breath. He stood up very tall, placed his hands in front of his heart, and balanced on one foot, coming into tree pose. Is everyone ready? Let's try your tree pose on one side. You got it. You can have your hands just by your heart the way that Bunny does, or if you want, you can stretch your arms up like branches for your tree pose. Just then, Bird flew down, landing right on Bunny's head. "Hiccup! I have a bad case of the hiccups, and I've tried everything to stop them," said Bird. "Well," Bunny said, "maybe you can do tree pose with me." Why don't you try tree pose on the other side, friends? Can you switch over and do your tree pose on the other side while I read this page? Why don't you do tree pose with me? It can calm you down, and that might help with your hiccup. "No way," Bird said. "I'd rather live with these hiccups than stand on one leg." And with that, Bird flew away. "Will anyone ever want to do yoga with me?" Bunny wondered out loud, but then he reminded himself that doing yoga alone is better than not doing yoga at all. And just as Bunny took a deep breath, stepped back, bent his front leg, and reached his arms way up, coming into, can everyone tell me, what is that one? Warrior pose. Two little mice came walking by. Can you go into your warrior pose, boys and girls? So your knee in the front is bent, your arms are up high in the sky. Yes, that's it, you got it. Beautiful warrior pose. "What do you think he's reaching for?" whispered one of the mice. "I don't know, but it must be very valuable. We'd better reach for it too." And so the mice stepped back, bent their front legs, and reached their arms way up, coming into warrior pose just like Bunny. Are you all doing your warrior pose? That's awesome. As they had their arms stretched way up and their eyes toward the sky, they noticed Bird flying by. Bird still had the hiccups, but he came down to join them, pressing his wings together in front of his heart, lifting up one leg, coming into tree pose again, friends, just like Bunny and the mice. All of a sudden, they heard a loud noise. Zoom, zoom, zoom. Fox came hurrying by, and he saw the friends standing in a circle, and he pressed his hands to the ground, stepped back, lifted his hips, coming into downward dog. Do you want to join all of the animals doing your downward dog again? Just like Bunny, just like the mice, and the bird, and even Fox. Bunny took a deep breath and lay down flat on his back, coming into resting pose. Friends, you can come down, lay down on your back in resting pose, or if you like, maybe you want to stay sitting up just to see the end of our story, and you can start to find some stillness in your body. And when Lizard came walking by, Lizard lay down just like Bunny. Bunny was so happy his friends had joined him that he opened his mouth and he let out a big home. And everyone else did the same. I know where I'm supposed to be, said Fox. Not so angry anymore. Right here. Thank you, Yoga Bunny. So friends, this is one of my favorite stories, Yoga Bunny, by Brian Russo, and I'll tell you why. Because sometimes I feel a little bit like Yoga Bunny, and I want to do lots of yoga, but I know that it's really fun to do yoga with friends. So when I do yoga and when you join me in our Bhavatri studio, or even when you join me from your homes, like right now, watching the video, then I feel like Yoga Bunny with lots and lots of friends doing all of our poses together. I hope you enjoyed that story, friends. Let's finish up our time together by taking a great big breath. So we're going to breathe in and we're going to raise our arms all the way up. I'm sitting nice and tall, breathing in all the way up. Those hands come together, and as we breathe out, can you bring those hands together right at your heart? You got it. Beautiful. Sometimes my hands fold together like this. Sometimes I'll even place my hands right on my heart, and I can feel the warmth from my hands telling my heart to be quiet and still, and remembering that this is the best way for me to take care of my body and my mind is by being kind to myself. And will you repeat after me? May I be happy and healthy. May I be kind and caring. May I know that I am loved, really, 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 really loved, and that all is well. Boys and girls, the light that shines on me also is the light that shines in and on each and every one of you. Blessings to each of you today. Namaste.